Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Venomix shooter from Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, and this is the secondary weapon of our 6-team member here, Spider Kumonos. You can see him here on the right side of the packaging. It is a gun, same color scheme as the Kumono Slayer. To me it just kind of looks like a spray paint gun, I'll be honest. Yeah, but it comes with another key here. We have the Venomix Kumonos key. Front of the packaging, very fun, very colorful. Up top here, we get a look at his mecha. So we have God Tarantula, and then we have two Guardian weapons. We have Guardian Cicada and Guardian Pedo. I guess because he's a centipede. It's kind of a weird name for him, though. Over here on the side, showing how, of course, we can use the key here in the Kumono Slayer. And then we can use those keys from the Kumono Slayer over here as well to summon his mecha. Over here on this side, just a really great shot of that suit, which I still think looks absolutely fantastic. It's such a great looking suit. Not too much going on down the bottom here, just your standard warnings and whatnot. Spinning it around to the back. Again, showing us using the key and then shaking it, I guess, to get another sound. And once again, we have the batteries included. You get two LR44 batteries already in the packaging, so do not need to supply your own batteries, which is always nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging here. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here's everything you get in the box. Of course, we have the Venomix shooter itself, and then we have the Venomix Kumonos key. We'll take a look at this in a moment. But here is the gun itself. It's very tiny, especially compared to the sword. It feels lighter, too, honestly. This whole front section here feels pretty light. I think it's because it has the piece inside that can tell if you're shaking it, but most of the weight is up here where the key is inserted. But love the color scheme again. You know, you have the teal and the purple with the black and the gray. All really works well. Nice little spider decal there on the front that's painted on. But yeah, looks pretty good. Not really much going on the back here. They did paint the barrel up here, which is nice, and this little bit of silver, but everything else is pretty much just black. Here is the battery compartment. You pull the little tab out there. If you would ever need to change the batteries, there's a little button right here that you just depress, and then the panel will slide off, and you can switch out the batteries. Speaker down here on the bottom. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Very tiny, but I love the color scheme. Got the trigger right here. If we hit the trigger, kind of a generic firing sound. You can also hold it down. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a spraying sound or what, but as soon as you let go of the trigger, it immediately stops. So that is pretty much it on its own. But this thing actually has a ton of functionality with it. We can use the other keys in here, which we'll get to later. But most of it is just right here with this Venomix Kumonos key. And it is, you know, just the same spider again, now painted purple, and then has the outline in black. And then you have your key down here on the bottom. So it looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and pop it in. So you do it one time, it says dock in. If we pull the trigger, he says, sit down. And then there's a big firing sound, which is kind of fun. If you hit the trigger again, you're just going to get the same sound effect again. You also can't hold it down in this mode because it'll just keep doing that same sound effect over and over again. But we can shake it. So you shake it, then when you stop shaking it, it says Venomix. You get a really cool standby jingle there. Then you hit the trigger again, it says Venom. But that's not all. So if we shake it again, then we shake it again. So you have to shake it and then stop so it says Venomix, and then you shake it again. Sometimes you shake it a little bit faster. And then you'll hear it speed up. You'll hear the sound speed up, and then you can hit the trigger and you get a second sound effect, which is pretty cool. So that's everything just for the first turn, saying dock in. But if you turn it twice in rapid succession, you get more dock in. So you get another attack sound there. So that sounds the same. So the first shaking sound effect still just says Venomix, then Venom. But if you do, shake it, get Venomix, shake it again, you'll get a new sound effect for more dock in. And then if we do it 3 times in rapid succession, so for 3 you get Mad Gel, and then it launches into this new standby music, and then you just hit the trigger. When you're in this one for Mad Gel, there's no shaking sound effects. So there's only the shaking sound effects when you're in dock in or more dock in. When you do 3 times and get Mad Gel, the shaking sound effect does not work. But you just immediately go into that standby and then you get another attack. So that's a ton of functionality. I mean, you're getting an attack sound for each, 1, 2, 3 turns. You're getting a separate sound effects for the second shaking one for dock in and more dock in. Plus you're getting the Venomix, the kind of standard shaking sound effect. So that's a lot of articulation, a lot of sound effects and functionality for this, which I think is actually really cool. And that's still only the first key. So we have our other 2 keys that came with the Kumono Slayer. We have the Change Kimonos key and the Shoe God Kimonos key. So we'll go ahead and try these out. Now these are not going to have nearly as much functionality as the Venomix Kimonos key, but they still do some pretty cool stuff. So it says God Tarantula. And you get kind of a sound effect there. Still just kind of like the generic firing sound, but might be slightly different. I can't honestly tell. The shaking does not work, but if we do it 3 times in rapid succession, so you get some really cool kind of standby music there, and then it says Night, Night, Tarantula, Night. So, very cool. Now we will try the Shoe God Kumonos key. So it says, I think it says Keiza Blade, which I'm assuming is using cicada, so Kata Blade, like cicada blade. So it's kind of like the sound effect when he's using that guardian weapon. And then if we do it 3 times, I think it says Peed Chainsaw. So the centipede turns into a chainsaw. I'll be honest, the chainsaw sound is not that exciting. I kind of wish you could hold it down and it would just make like a revving chainsaw continuous sound until you let go. But unfortunately, that's not the case. But still pretty cool. So this one does God Tarantula, which is his main mecha. And then this one is sound effects for the 2 guardian weapons that he's going to use, Cicada and the Centipede. And then the last thing to take a look at is our new key in the Kumono Slayer. And I'll be honest, this is a little weird, but we'll go ahead and do it. So as far as I know, like you turn the key, the legs spring open, and it'll just keep chanting that indefinitely. Putting the button here, the kind of trigger button, doesn't launch into a new sound. I tried to look in the manual; it just says that it keeps chanting that. So it's weird that it never stops until you hit a button or do something. But yeah, that's what it does. Technically, I guess I should show that, of course, you can add it to your keyring and have all three of your spider keys together and clip them on your belt or your pants pocket or whatever. But it easily holds all three. I think this is a really awesome release. Honestly, it's very tiny, but it's got a ton of functionality packed into it. It might even have more functionality than the Kimono Slayer. You have the two sounds on its own, using the trigger, holding down the trigger. Then you put in the Venomix Kimono's key. You've got the dock in, the more dock in, the Mad Gel. Each of those has, attack sounds. The first two have the Venomix. Then there's a second additional shaking sound. I mean, there's a lot going on here. Then you bring in the keys from the Kimono Slayer, and you can call all the mecha, which is really fun. You've got those attack sounds and everything. It's awesome. There's a lot of fun to be had with this one. I think it's really a good time. Definitely recommend picking this up. I feel like you have to get both the Kimono Slayer and the Venomix Shooter to get the full experience because you need all three keys. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I think it's really, really cool. Again, love the color scheme. The deco looks great. I don't really have anything to complain about this one. The only thing that I thought was a little weird when you're using this key in the Kimono Slayer, it kind of just chants that sound effect until you turn it off or hit the button or do something. And it seems like it should do that until you hit the button and then you get an attack sound, which it's weird that it doesn't do that. But again, maybe it makes sense in the context of the show. I haven't seen much of it. I think I'm one episode behind, so once I see that episode, maybe it'll all make sense to me finally. But I think both of these are a lot of fun. I kind of think this one's a little bit more fun than the Kimono Slayer. Not to put that one down, but I just think this one's a little bit more fun. But you do need the keys from both releases to get the full functionality. So I definitely recommend picking them both up. But if you're on a budget, I would say grab this one because I think this one is a little bit more in terms of functionality. But again, to really get everything out of it, you do need those other keys. But I had a lot of fun with this one. Definitely recommend this one a lot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.